This is episode 2 of Thinking Outside the Box. Again, this is Cody Askins with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. You got to make sure that you go over and check out our website, SecureAgentMentor.com, which has the best final expense leads in the industry. It also has our monthly membership training website. The agents can get access to a super robust quote engine, sales audio books, scripts, phone recordings, discounts galore, videos, training, lots and lots of training. It's only $19.99 a month. That price will increase in the future, but currently it's only $19.99 a month. So you might as well get over our website and check those things out. Also, this is episode number 2. Last week was episode number 1, which we talked about college telemarketers and how I used college telemarketers to kickstart my business and to get off the ground and make some money. So today is episode number 2, which is something else that I did the first year in the business. Again, I didn't have a ton of money to invest into leads, direct mail, avatar, whatever the case, internet leads. I didn't have a ton of money, so I had to get creative. I had to, hence the words, think outside the box. So today's going to be about door knocking senior housing and exactly what that entailed, how I did it, what I said, and the whole way of how I went about it in general. And so the door knocking senior housing is something that I actually ran an appointment of one of the college telemarketers set appointments. I ran an appointment. It was at a senior housing facility. It was in a small city out west of Springfield. And I learned that this was for 55 plus. It was in a rural area. It was senior housing. And so I learned that it was exactly my demographic because they were also lower income. You know, you weren't able to stay there if you made 40 grand, you know. So, I mean, it was people that made $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a month, $2,000 max, with an average income of probably $1,000, you know, $800. And so I learned that this was my demographic. And so I said, you know what? I was out on an appointment one day. I said, you know what? I'm going to just try doing some door knocking. So after my appointment was over, I started knocking the rest of the senior housing facility. Again, I had no clue what I was doing. I had to make it up on the spot. Little did I learn, it was something that I was going to be really good at and that I would really enjoy. And so what I did is I put a focus in knocking that entire area before I left that day. And I believe this senior housing had about, I'm thinking about 30 units if I remember right. We've got them in our area where they have as little as 16 or as many as 130. And the way these work is they're senior housing facilities where you've got 4 senior units in one building, and you've got all these little buildings around this property. And so I learned that this was a great demographic and a smart thing for me to do. And in our area here in Southwest Missouri, I've got a couple dozen of these senior housing facilities, if not more than that, in several cities around me. And so it's something to consider, something to look into, that you may have these as well. I also did some Section 8 door knocking. I'd rather just do the senior housing because if I do Section 8 or extreme low income that isn't quote-unquote senior, I'll get a lot of 30s, 40s, and 50s-year-olds. I'm okay with 50s, but 30 and 40-year-olds is a little young. Even if I get some 20-year-olds, it's just way too young. And so I learned that this is something I could do. So I would go up to the door and just totally make it up. But I knew from listening to sales audiobooks that, hey, I need to be enthusiastic. I need to be confident. I need to assume that they want me to come into the door. And so I learned really quick that my whole goal of door knocking senior houses was to just get in the door. I learned really fast if I can just get in the door that I would make sales. I was learning that about every 3 or 4 homes I would get into, I would make a sale. And so I put a goal on just getting in the house, getting in the door, getting in the unit, the apartment, the building. And so once I would get there, I would start knocking, and I would get really excited. Hey, this is Cody. Hope you're doing well. Can I come in real quick? And so I didn't know that at first, but I learned that some of these individuals were nice, and just by knocking, they would yell, "Come in." So I would just obviously go in, or they would If I got excited and they seemed nice, I would just ask them if I could come in for a quick second. And sometimes they would just let me without even telling them why I was there. And so, because there's a lot of salespeople that think, hey, I've got to tell every prospect everything about what's going on so that they know everything before I can really give them a chance to talk to me. And that's really not the case. I've also learned that. And so I just simply put a focus on getting in the door. And if I did have to say something, I would say, hey, I'm Cody. I help I have several clients here that I help with their burial and their life insurance programs. We've got several state regulated programs, and so I wanted to just come in for a quick second. And so I would get my pitch down to it was really short. Hey, this is Cody. I help seniors with their final expenses. Can I come in for a quick second? And I would do it in a nice way, respectful way, polite way. I would have a big smile. I'd be enthusiastic. I would try to close multiple times. Even if they said no or they gave me an objection, then I would just keep talking to them, keep being friendly, and then say, you know what? You've been so nice. If I promise to be brief, can I come in for a quick second? And then by the second, or even if they didn't ask me, if they didn't let me in the first time, they would normally let me in the second, third, fourth, or fifth time that I would ask. And so I learned to be very persistent by doing that and by asking. And so I got to where I was asking multiple times. I learned to overcome objections really well by getting in front of people and having them give you objections face to face. And so I learned that a lot. And it's a great way for someone to get in homes and not to spend a lot of money. It's free. You just spend a little gas, go to a senior housing complex and door knock for a day. My third month in the business, I wrote six final expense applications in one day from door knocking. My third month in the business. I found a senior housing facility here in Southwest Missouri that's got about 120 to 130 units. I didn't even get through the whole thing, but I knocked probably 50, 60, 70, 80 maybe, and wrote 6 applications in one day. I got to where in senior housing I was writing an application about every 25. I got to where I was writing an application about every 25 knocks, worst case 50. But generally I could write one about every, some days I would be really lucky and I'd knock 10 places and write 3, you just never knew. But I got to where about every 25 I would make a sale. About every 50 worst case scenario if I was having a really bad day or if it was a bad area. But that's the thing. If you can get good with people and get good at door knocking and getting in front of people and being persistent and smiling and getting in and running a normal appointment and just getting along with people. And I learned to build rapport really well, really early and often, really quickly by doing this. And so it's a free, cheap, easy way to get in front of a lot of people that meet your demographic, that meet your target market. We've got senior housing all over our area, and most states and cities are probably going to have some there as well. Even if you have to travel to some, it's worth it. So and I even got to where I would sell a few clients and then I would get a directory so that I could go and call the person by name. Hey, Miss Betty, I'm Cody. Mr. Joe sent me over. I help him with his final expenses. Can I come in for a quick second? Or, hey, Miss Betty, I know Mr. Joe over here. He referred me to come over and talk to you. Can I come in for a quick second? Without them even knowing why I'm there. That's where I would get to where I would always ask for referrals. Hey, who do you know that you hang out with here that's cool, that I can talk to? And I got to where I would sell a referral or two every time I went out as well. And so it's just all about putting yourself out there, being creative, thinking outside the box. Once I got in, I would run it like a normal appointment. I would warm up, fact find, present, and build value together, and close. And that's the way I run my appointment. And that's kind of the reason I run my appointment that same way now. Is that's exactly what I did when I was door knocking. And so you can make money in this business, and you can succeed if you'll just get creative, think outside the box, and do whatever it takes to be successful. If it means putting yourself out there, doing something that's creative, that's outside the box, that's not normal, that makes you uncomfortable, but if it makes you money, then you might as well do it. I got to where 1 month several years ago, I made about $23,000 from door knocking the whole month, every day of the month. I would go out and say, I'm going to door knock these 50 senior housing units, and then I'll move on to the next area, and then I'll come back to this other area here in 3 months, 6 months, whatever, because people do leave, move out, pass away, you get new tenants, whatever the case is. And so it's a quick, easy, extremely inexpensive way to get in front of a lot of people that meet your target market. So because to be successful in this business, number one, you have to get obsessed. And I got obsessed. I was willing to do whatever it took, even if it meant talking to 50 strangers every day that didn't know me or I didn't know them. And this was before I was even great. And then the second step is, hey, you got to get creative. And then third step is you got to take a lot of action. And so I got to where I was doing creative stuff like this. And when I did it, I took a lot of action. And even though I wasn't the best in the world at the time, I got good very quickly. I skilled up. I got experienced. And I learned what to do, what worked, and when to do it. So this is just another creative way to get in front of people. This is all about creative prospecting ideas, and I'm going to give you a new creative prospecting idea every single week. If this one doesn't work for you, great. Maybe the next one will, because you can't do all of them, but you got to find a couple of ideas that are creative that work for you. So again, this is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. This is Thinking Outside the Box, episode number 2, which is door knocking senior housing. And if you have the money, go to my website, SecureAgentMentor.com, and invest in some final expense avatar leads, because I can guarantee you it's easier to get in front of those people than it is door knocking. So if you got a little money, you might as well invest it and make more. But if you don't have any money, try door knocking. So thanks for listening. Again, this is Cody from Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. Hope you'll check out our website, and hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and we'll get you another creative prospecting idea next week. Thanks for listening to Thinking Outside the Box.